I know he was the first overall pick, but the Titans have found their franchise quarterback. And then, correct me if I'm wrong, I saw a little bit of Jordan Love in Cam Ward.
Sure.
I saw a little bit of that ability to throw the ball kind of unorthodox. The mechanics aren't necessarily perfect, but you can see the talent. But the most important thing that I saw in this game and what I look for rookies in preseason is poise. I didn't see him really panic at all during this game. You don't know going into your first NFL game what the speed is going to be like. You don't have an idea of what the defenses are going to do. Are they going to hold back? Are they going to try to pressure and blitz the quarterback? It never seemed like he was out of sorts. I got to give my big dog Woody some credit because he already mentioned it. The offensive line did a really good job. But we've even seen rookies behind offensive linemen that halftime. I watched Dan do tape after tape after tape and ask the question, why is the youngster bailing already?
Yeah.
Why is he starting to lead the pocket already? I didn't see that with Cam Ward. That was the thing that I enjoyed about watching him was the command. And he plays, y'all, I don't know if y'all felt it. He plays with a confidence, and we talked about it in college. You don't know how it's going to translate when you get to the NFL.
Yeah.
It looked the exact same when he was at Miami as far as just the confidence and feeling like I can make any play I want to on the field right now.
Yeah, no, I wholeheartedly agree. I actually really liked his performance in the preseason game, and I agree with the whole idea of like what I'm looking for from a rookie. Like, is that poise? Is that confidence? I always just refer to it as comfortability. Like it's how comfortable, does the game seem to be happening too fast? Are you seeing the field? Do you seem a little overwhelmed? Just do you seem comfortable? I mean, it's just very binary to me. And I saw someone who was incredibly comfortable, incredibly decisive, which to me felt like not only did he understand the game plan, he understood what the coaches wanted him to do when they're calling the play, like this is what we're doing, this is what I want you to do, as well as seeing the field. What is the defense giving you? And now navigating and putting this all together. Again, it's obviously just a preseason game. It's obviously an incredibly tiny sample size. Make no mistake about it, but you can see other players. I wish there was more of a veteran presence of a quarterback that I could use as a frame of Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones to me didn't look comfortable. Okay, and that's a veteran now at this point. He did not like I saw more comfort and confidence and poise and control from Cam Ward than I saw with Daniel Jones. Just my feeling. And again, I really encourage people to not get too lost in the box score, even some of the quality of throws, right? Even though some of them were clearly impressive, he had a couple throws. I was really like, again, that's what I meant by decisive. Like he knew where he was going with the ball. It was intentional, on time, in rhythm. Boom. But sometimes I say just throw that all out. Sometimes I always just try to encourage people to just be like, just watch. Try not to just think about nothing. Think about forget anything. That you even know about football. What just feels right? To me, that's really kind of the foundation of an eye test. It's just like what just feels right. And it is. You either get that feeling or you don't. You either see it or you don't. And you just sit back and you just watch and you go, does this look like a quarterback who feels in control? That's why you keep saying control and comfort. Who feels like they understand how this game is unfolding right now? How this play is unfolding, how this drive is unfolding, who seems to be within rhythm with their team, who seems to understand what needs to be done, this immediate play. And like I said, it becomes very binary. You either feel that the quarterback's got it and they know what they're doing or not. And it doesn't mean that the play needs to be successful. It doesn't even mean that they're not going to make a mistake. You can feel in rhythm. You can feel comfortable. You can feel confident. Still make a bad throw. Still make a bad read, hold on the ball for an extra second too long and get sacked like that. That's why I try to say, like, throw out everything, I'll throw out all the other stuff. Just does this feel right? And that's exactly the presence that I got from Cam Ward, which is exciting to me more so than being like, oh, he was 5 for 8, 67 yards in. Preseason debut and 3 for 4 and 50 yards on, throws 10 plus air yards. Like, that's all great too. That's all great. Although a lot less important to me when we're talking about preseason. And so that's why I do appreciate that he mentioned, like, just I'm looking at poise, and pretty much I'm just trying to give a deeper explanation as to like how I define or interpret poise, and connected with what exactly I'm looking for personally. And so it's exciting, it's motivating, it's energizing. You can see that, and it's in a lot of ways. I think Cam Ward's in such a great spot because we still talk about Caleb Williams way more, and we're certainly talking about Shatter Sanders way more. Uh, I mean, you would think that Shatter Sanders, that they were setting him up to be the next Patrick Mahomes, like they were doing kind of with Caleb Williams and whatnot. And so Cam's just kind of just gets to chill in Tennessee in a lot of ways. I mean, I I mean, I don't know this for sure, but I'm pretty confident people probably more tuned in to watch Shatter play than Cam in the preseason game. And that's just not a normal occurrence, honestly. And listen, I don't think Cam is the type of person who's going to really be moved by pressure by any stretch of the imagination. But there are other players on that team and other coaching, uh, me, other members of the coaching staff that are, don't assume that everyone can handle all that stuff just because they've achieved this levels of success that they have. And you see this all the time. You see coaches, you see GMs, you see owners. I mean, you see them all react to the pressure to the moment. Other players, like you could see. And again, I got trust that Cam will be able to handle all, but like there's no 100% confidence in the other players on the field and the coaching staff of not feeling that extra pressure, that extra heighten of like, you never know when there's someone on that on part of the coaching staff who's like, oh gosh, a lot of eyes are going to be on me with Cameron Ward. If I can really make this pop, if I can make this work, if I do this right, I can get promoted. I can be the OC, or I can get another job here. Like it's all everyone's trying to get to the next step, to that next level. And so people feel that pressure. Like I said, you see it happen with coaches, especially coaches all the time, coordinators all the time. And so the fact that that's now really under the radar, I think is really great. I think is really great because that was part of the argument of Ben Johnson. That's why I actually tip my hat to Ben Johnson, because there was tremendous pressure for Caleb Williams to play in that preseason game. The whole world is football world's waiting to see like what is Caleb going to do with Ben Johnson. And Ben Johnson was smart. Was like, I don't care what you guys are waiting for. I'm doing what I want to do. That's the mark of a smart coach. He's like, I'm not feeding into this pressure. And I guarantee you there's at least 10 coaches in the NFL right now that would fall into that pressure. Or have a GM or an owner, like you're playing him in the preseason game, first game, get him out there. That happens all the time, and it typically does not end well. So the fact that they don't even have to deal with that right now, I think is just a major advantage for them, which then helps Cam indirectly. So I think a lot of things are lining. I mean, listen, it's obviously not perfect as him, Cam himself kind of said, like, this offense is a long way away. They got a lot of work to do, which I totally appreciate. If I didn't say this before in a previous clip, then let me say it now, that I think it's so important to be able to honestly evaluate what you're seeing and getting that from your quarterback, because a lot of times you can get some lip service, right? You can either say like, no, things are going great, blah blah blah, or in the opposite direction where things aren't going great, and you're just you either don't see it and you're kind of delusional in the wrong direction, or you just kind of trying to talk past it. He has been very honest and grounded in what he's seeing, which I am a firm believer that is the path forward, because in perfect timing you have someone like Dak Prescott who's meeting with the owner of the Los Angeles Rams saying like, I'll see you in the NFC Championship game. It's like, that's not speaking into existence. That's not just a great belief in yourself. That's not just confidence. It's like, no, you're not actually accurately seeing what needs to be done. You don't actually seem to have a grasp of the amount of work that needs to be done. And if you don't have that, the chances of you achieving your goal, not very high. Not very high. And so I just appreciate when someone can actually honestly evaluate what they see, because then it lets you know you're looking in the mirror and you know immediately the work that needs to be done. If you keep lying to yourself, or you keep just trying to be positive no matter what, then you don't really admit the work that needs to be done. And I feel personally that the Titans as a whole understand the work that needs to be done, and that is the step that is truly like the first step, right? You know, acceptance is the key acknowledgement. Like you need to know what needs to be done. That's how you start moving forward. And so again, I continue to love everything I see and hear out of Tennessee, even if it's not like 100% positive, right? Even though we're not hearing like endless reports of like Titans look amazing, man. They look faster, they're physical. Cameron Ward is lighting it up. Be lookout. This team can go zero, you know, last place to first place. Like you're not necessarily hearing those reports either. And it's like I appreciate hearing like accurate reporting and you know, having the players understand. And so I think it's been positive, positive, positive. And you know, you see a game like that and a presence like that, and I'm like I'm gonna be locked in to try to see how this rookie year unfolds week to week to week. So I'm excited. Those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Cameron Ward's first preseason game? How do you feel about the Tennessee Titans right now? More encouraged, discouraged? Let me know in the comments below. I read single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and I absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to, something that we're really excited to be a part of. I think we're on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.